What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Logan, and welcome back to another video here on the Logan's Pokemon TV series review channel. And yeah, for today's video, once again, we're going to be doing something a little bit different than we never did on this channel yet. And like I did promise you guys during the introduction video, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing our first ever ranking video for this channel. And today we're going to be ranking all of the Season 1 episodes of Pokemon, which is pretty much Pokemon Indigo League in this case. And yeah, so it should be a lot of fun right here. I've never seen any of these episodes in quite a while, actually, and it might be kind of hard for me to actually rank some of these episodes. So do kind of bear with me a little bit if I really don't remember what exactly goes on in each of these episodes here. But I will try my best to actually explain, what goes on in these episodes here. I didn't actually Google search and actually looked up on Wikipedia about what happens in each of these episodes here, and I kind of will be giving you guys a brief idea about some of these episodes here. So as we all kind of talk about them here and kind of rank them. But of course, it should be a lot of fun right here. And if there's any mistakes that I do make throughout this video, do kind of bear with me a little bit, honestly. And yeah, so without further ado, and actually before we get started with this video, if of course you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to consider giving this video a thumbs up, and of course if you're brand new to our YouTube channel, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel and also have that notification bell on, so that I'm sending more upcoming content related to the Pokemon TV series next time in the near future. And so yeah, without any further ado, we're not going to waste any more time, and we're going to go ahead and rank some of these episodes of Pokemon the Indigo League, aka Pokemon Season 1 here. And we first start out with the first ever Pokemon episode here, which is Season 1, Episode 1. And now this is the episode already right off the bat, and I can already kind of explain this actually. This was the episode where, we kind of get introduced to Ash Ketchum, and as we get introduced to him, actually getting started with this first ever Pokemon journey ever to become, of course, the world's greatest Pokemon trainer and the world's best Pokemon master here. And there was a lot of stuff that happened here, and especially with that opening sequence though, when pretty much them kind of replicating the original Pokemon Game Boy game, where it was the opening sequence to that was kind of like black and white. Of course that was the first Pokemon game where it was for one, it was on the original Game Boy, and the original Game Boy was on black and white and whatnot. And then also it kind of transitions into that kind of little color sequence there before. The episode transitions into Ash sleeping in his room and having a dream about his Pokemon journey and how he's gonna be selecting this first ever starter. What you do with that reference, honestly? I had to reference once again the first ever 3 starters from the very first ever Pokemon game, actually, with Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. But of course, it didn't really end up happening when he goes to Professor Oak's lab and selects his Pokemon, but unfortunately, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle weren't even in there. But obviously Pikachu. But then his partner Pokemon ended up being Pikachu, and that kind of set up, Ash and Pikachu actually becoming the dynamic duo during the whole entire series actually. So yeah, then with this one obviously has to be a 10 out of 10. Honestly, just because of it again, because of the fact that this is the beginning part of that, Ash's journey and getting us introduced about what we can actually expect throughout the other seasons and the future of the Pokemon series, along with Ash's journey. So, yeah, this was a really great way to set up the beginning part of the series, actually, and especially the first ever episode here. So, yeah, Episode 1 definitely goes in 10 out of 10 here. And next time we got Episode 2, which this gives us the introduction of Team Rocket, actually. And I will kind of read the description of what goes on here in this episode so we can rank this. Ash was into Viridian City with his gravely wounded Pikachu. The scene is on high alert for Pokemon-themed thieves like Jesse, James, and Meowth of Team Rocket. A group of bad guys decided dedicated to stealing valuable Pokemon. While Ash waits at the Pokemon Center for news of Pikachu's condition, Misty arrives, angry about the bike. Ash wrecked, but she softens when she sees Pikachu wheeled out a stretcher. Or on a stretcher, actually. Team Rocket crashes through the roof of the Pokemon Center. Where no Shoy transports Pokeballs to Pewter City for safety. Ash tries to find out Team Rocket's Pokemon, coughing at Ekans. Ash is having no luck battling, so as Pikachu, still recovering, teams up with a bunch of other Pikachu at the Pokemon Center to blast Team Rocket out of the building. Having discovered that Ash's Pikachu is not your ordinary Pikachu, JC, James, and Meowth make their mission to capture it. With the bad guys expelled, Misty joins Ash and Pikachu on their journey to Pewter City while strolling through Viridian Forest. A Caterpie makes an appearance. Ash sees an opportunity for his first Pokemon capture will he be successful? So yeah, in this episode here, what they're pretty much saying is that not only does the first introduction of Team Rocket actually, this is actually the first time ever we actually got to see Misty get introduced as well, and it is pretty fun. There was a pretty funny part to where, you know, not only is the first time ever that, like, you know, Misty gets actually introduced in this episode, but actually this is actually the part where, you know, Ash actually, like, one of the most iconic parts in this whole entire series, and especially in season 1, was when Ash actually takes Misty's bike, and then after that, Misty that goes after Ash, and like, and then Ash actually ends up breaking up Misty's bike, and that's actually when, you know, Misty actually starts arguing with Ash to, you know, give Misty a new bike after, like, you know, Ash pretty much stole it and pretty much broke it, and this is actually the first time ever that actually Team Rocket said, this was the episode right here, to where they actually got started to, like, have a plan on actually stealing Pikachu, and also with, you know, Ash, like, discovered his first ever wild Pokemon, actually with Caterpie and Viridian Forest, and I don't know, I would say, like, towards the end where, you know, we had that little cliffhanger with Ash actually, like, you know, discovering Caterpie, and then, you know, the episode kind of ends right there with, you know, Ash, like, actually, like, I'm trying to still capture the Caterpie, but, you know, it is kind of a cliffhanger right there, but, you know, that does happen a lot with these episodes, honestly. Like, you don't want to really go too far into it. I kind of want to keep the suspicions up for what might happen next. But overall, though, pretty great episode right here. Like, once again, getting introduced to Misty, and then, you know, Team Rocket also getting introduced, and, you know, having, like, this episode, like, I'm actually kind of setting up what their future plans actually might be in future episodes of future seasons, to where, you know, they're going to try to steal Pikachu, actually. So this one obviously is definitely another 10 out of 10, honestly. Great stuff that happened here, honestly. Getting introduced to Misty. And Team Rocket here was pretty good as well, from what I noticed. And, you know, finding out their plan about stealing Pikachu, and something that would definitely happen and be a main staple in the Pokemon series, actually, and especially in the future. So yeah, once again, episode 2, definitely going to 10 out of 10 as well, just like episode 1, actually. Now, episode 3, actually, this was the episode where, actually, well, it kind of continues off where what happened, like, in the last episode with episode 2, where towards the end of that episode, we actually got to see Ash actually capture his first ever wild Pokemon with Caterpie, and yeah, Ash actually does make a pretty successful catch with this, and this is what the episode reads here. Ash discovers and catches a Caterpie, his first Pokemon capture. Though Ash is excited, Misty is grossed out by Bug-type Pokemon, so she is repulsed by his attempts to be friends with her. At night, as Ash and Misty sleep, Caterpie shares with Pikachu its dream of evolving into a Butterfree. The next day, Ash is able to capture a Pidgeotto and to battle it with Pikachu. Before Ash can celebrate too wildly, Misty reminds him that his success is due to more luck than skill. Team Rocket shows up to steal Pikachu. They realize that there's really something special about this Pokemon, and Ash vows to defend himself. Pikachu and Pidgeotto are weakened by Coffee and Ekans, so he reluctantly sends out Caterpie. To the surprise of Jesse and James, not to mention Ash, Caterpie's String Shot is able to defeat the Team Rocket Pokemon, including Meowth. When Misty tries to make nice with Caterpie and evolves into Metapod, could a Butterfree evolution be far behind? And so yeah, this was once again the episode where Ash, like I said, actually captures Caterpie for the first time ever, and you know, again, this actually goes on with the running joke with Misty actually being really terrified of bug-type Pokemon, actually, and you know, it was pretty cute actually how, you know, Pikachu, like, with Pikachu and Caterpie actually, like, you know, Caterpie actually sharing with Pikachu his dream actually evolving into a Metapod, actually, and yes, it seems like honestly with that part with Team Rocket, honestly, like, being surprised about that, you know, that screenshot move that, you know, Caterpie has actually, and also taking down Meowth, actually. Again, a lot of funny stuff happened here, honestly, with Caterpie as well, honestly, and again, it was pretty charming with that one part, like I said, with Caterpie actually sharing his dreams of evolving into a Butterfree, actually. That was honestly a pretty cool part, actually, and a pretty, I would say, a pretty charming part about this episode, actually. So I'd probably have to put this episode also in a 10 out of 10 as well. So yeah, once again, episode 3 goes on a 10 out of 10. Actually, once again, pretty great stuff that happened here, honestly. And really, in the first 3 episodes of the series, and are already a 10 out of 10 as well. Alright, the next up here, I do remember this episode actually. So episode 4, this is the episode where Ash actually meets up with his first ever rival for a Pokemon battle, actually, for the very first time ever, besides Team Rocket, actually. And his character's name is actually Samurai, and pretty much in this episode, he also does have a I guess he also does have a Caterpie as well. And I remember there was one part of this episode where Caterpie and Metapod actually did have like a little bit of a stare down for like, I'm not even really sure how long, honestly. Probably could have been like a minute or 2 or something like that. And then there was also another part as well where you got to see Misty and Pikachu actually taking a suntan, actually. And that's the problem, we got to see Bikini Misty. Oh my gosh. I remember when I saw that, I'm like, there ain't no way in the world they have to show Bikini Misty in this, honestly, for the first time ever. But to give you guys a little bit of an idea about this episode here, Misty and Ash continue to wander the Viridian Forest when they spawn a Weedle. As Ash battles it, he's distracted by a boy dressed as a samurai and calling himself, naturally, Samurai. Samurai challenges Ash to a battle, and Ash gets the advantage when his Metapod defends itself against Samurai's Pinsir. Well, his Pinsir, actually, I did not even know that was actually Pinsir, actually. Samurai sends out his own Metapod, and a standoff begins. A Sword Beedrill interrupts the battle. Ash flees, but leaves his Metapod behind. The Beedrill grabs Metapod and take it back to their hive. As Ash sneaks toward the hive to save Metapod, JC James and Meow shows up to cause trouble. Ash is I'm actually able to duck the angry Beedrill, and they instead focus on their wrath on Team Rocket. Metapod is mad at Ash for being abandoned. Has Ash learned his lesson about leaving his friends behind? Will Metapod evolve again? And will Samurai and Ash ever resume their battle? So yeah, actually with this right here, so like I already mentioned, like Ash actually gets introduced to like this boy that's dressed as a samurai, and actually calling himself once again a samurai, and pretty much in a battle actually between Samurai's Metapod and Ash's Metapod as well, and yeah, unfortunately, it does seem like the battle does get interrupted by a bunch of Beedrill, and Ash actually did end up learning a pretty good lesson here with not leaving your friends behind, especially your Pokemon as well. So maybe with this, honestly, if it weren't for that stare down, less of like a minute or 2 actually, which I mean it was still pretty funny there how like both Ash and Samurai's Metapods were having that stare down for quite a little bit. But I really do feel like it could have lasted a little bit shorter, actually. But it was still a pretty enjoyable episode, so probably had to go 9 out of 10 for this one here. And, like I said before, Ash actually did end up learning a pretty good lesson here, honestly, not leaving your friends behind, and, especially your Pokemon as well, so. And then next up here, we got episode 5, which, this is pretty much the first ever introduction of this time being Brock, actually, during this episode here. JC, James, and Meow dig a trap for our heroes, but they end up falling into it themselves. Ash and Misty arrive at Pewter City and meet a curious fellow named Flint, who notices that Pikachu is tired and shows them the way to the Pokemon Center. At the Pokemon Center, Ash reads a poster promoting the Pokemon League Regional Championships. To compete, you have to beat gym leaders from various towns and win their badges. Ash challenges a Pewter City gym leader, Brock. Even a healed Pikachu has no choice against Brock's Rock-type Pokemon. Later, Flint shows Ash a surprising side of Brock. When he's not battling and raising Pokemon, he has to take care of 10 of his brothers and sisters. Well, this news affected Ash's desire to battle Brock and for the Rock badge. Who is this Flint guy, and why does he insist on helping Ash train Pikachu for the rematch? And will Team Rocket ever climb out of that hole? So yeah, man, already a funny and hilarious part of this episode here, where Team Rocket is like, trying to dig a hole for Ash and Misty to actually fall into, but actually they end up falling into it themselves, and this actually was the first ever gym battle that Ash ever got into, and it's just with the introduction of Brock actually as well. But yeah, I would say though, honestly, this is another pretty good episode here, so probably this one has to go another 10 out of 10, honestly. The fact once again being Ash's first ever Pokemon gym battle, and getting introduced to Brock actually. Once again another 10 out of 10 episode, honestly. I got nothing more else to say, honestly. about where we'll rank episode 5 here, actually. Alright, now we move on to episode 6, which is actually the introduction of also Clefairy as well. At Mount Moon, our friends rescue a scientist named Seymour, however you say his name. I really can't remember, honestly, how to pronounce his name. From a bunch of Zubat. Along the way, Brock is able to catch one of the Zubat. Seymour leads Ash and his friends into a cave to find the legendary Moonstone, with the set to increase the power of Pokemon. Deep in the cave, Ash spots a Clefairy carrying the Moonstone. He considers capturing it, but Seymour tells him Clefairy preferred to live at Mount Moon. Ash decides to leave the Clefairy in peace, but Team Rocket shows up with plans of their own. Will Team Rocket steal the Moonstone? And all the other Clefairy lurking about, and do they carry Moonstones too? And is the legend of the Moonstone true? See, what ended up happening here is that they made it to Mount Moon actually, and they got introduced to a scientist named Seymour, and this is from of course from a bunch of Zubat that they actually encounter, and it doesn't look like Brock was actually able to be successful and actually catch a Zubat, and Seymour, honestly, I actually do kind of like this character, and the fact that it's like trying to study like the Moonstone actually, and especially with all these Clefairy as well. And this was also the first time ever that Ash actually got the actually got the battle actually got the battle Team Rocket as well, and it was pretty funny. Like there was one part actually where Misty actually got the before they must have first sent flying James and Jesse actually. They got to send them blasting off, but then Meowth was still around. But then Misty actually got to throw out Staryu into the lake with Staryu's Pokeball actually, and Staryu actually sent Meowth then flying afterwards actually alongside with James and Jesse actually. But yeah, honestly though, another pretty good episode here. So probably like I'd probably say another 9 out of 10 honestly. Even though from what I saw in this episode actually, like there was a majority of it was like Pokemon battling actually, from what I actually do see here actually. But it was still pretty, once again, another enjoyable episode as well. With again, introducing Clefairy and then finding out about the Moonstone and this scientist character, like, trying to discover more about this Moonstone actually. And now next up here, this is actually the episode where we actually just said before when Ash actually got the battle Brock. This is the episode where Ash actually gets to battle Misty during this next gym battle. Ash sees the Cascade Badge in Cerulean City, but for some reason, Misty doesn't want to join them. When Ash and Brock show up, the city is buzzing about a break-in that just took place, and are initially accused of the crime. We see Team Rocket commit the robbery, but no one else knows about their involvement yet. Ash and Pikachu arrive at the Cerulean City gym, which resembles an aquarium with an Olympic-sized swimming pool. They see a water show perform, but the sensational Cerulean City synchronized swimming sisters. Later on, Ash learns that the sisters are actually the gym leaders. He challenges them, but they don't feel like battling, and instead offer the Cascade Badge without a fight. It looks like Ash will have his Cascade Badge without breaking a sweat. But then a fourth gym leader step up. Who is this mysterious gym leader, and who does Team Rocket plan to do with the stuff they stole? And where's Misty? And yeah, so once again, this is pretty much the episode where Misty is actually the gym leader, and especially, originally we actually found out that Misty's sisters actually were the actual gym leaders of this gym. But then honestly though, they I really wish Misty's sisters could have been actually the gym leaders here, and actually I would have been absolutely curious to see how this actually went if instead of Misty actually fighting, then actually having like Misty's sisters actually fight. But you guys don't know what the actual name of the Misty's sisters are. Their names are Daisy, Violet, and Lily, and once again they're the Cerulean gym leaders. I'm not really sure why they couldn't actually have Misty's sisters actually fight this actually. But yeah, actually, there was another part where it did basically kind of bring a little bit more variety into it. Team Rocket then coming in and trying to suck up all the water and all the water type Pokemon. And then Ash and I think also Misty actually helped out as well with trying to save all the water type Pokemon and trying to, also they also did trying to capture Pikachu as well, which of course is obvious because from the very beginning. They actually tried to actually steal. Since then, ever since they came up with that plan to steal Pikachu, they they had to try to do that as well. But yeah, I would say another I don't know where to put this actually. Either 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, honestly. I'm trying to think actually. You know what? Maybe I'll put this at like maybe not 9 out of 10, honestly. I say it because I felt like again, it doesn't. At least in my opinion, how I see this actually, it does make sense. Like that we're gonna have Misty actually battle Ash here actually. But why couldn't it have been Daisy, Violet, and Lily actually? I would have liked to know like what might have happened if like Daisy, Violet, and Lily were actually the ones that were actually gonna battle Ash during this Pokemon battle. But the fact that it's Misty, honestly, kind of like that little plot twist actually. That is something that I kind of like actually with this episode. That little bit, once again, that little plot twist that you may expect for some of these episodes actually. And I guess it makes sense because in the other episode when they were fighting Brock, actually, it does make sense that would have to battle like one of the other main group members actually, just like with Brock before Brock actually joined Ash and Misty. So I bet they were kind of going off that a little bit, and making Ash actually battle Misty in this episode here. But yeah, it's still a really good episode to be honest. And yeah, now we move on to this episode right here, and this is let me see what episode this is. Oh, this is episode 8 actually, and this is the episode where we get introduced to AJ, and this is what the episode description reads here. On the way to Vermilion City, Ash meets AJ, a gym leader, as in an unsanctioned gym. That's how I say it, actually. An unsanctioned gym who has 98 wins and 0 losses. They battle, and Ash is surprised that AJ's ground-type Sandshrew can easily beat his flying-type Pokemon. Flying-type Pokemon are usually strong against ground-type Pokemon. Ash and his friends later see that AJ puts his Pokemon through very tough training and makes his Sandshrew normally weak to water-type attacks. Training in a swimming pool. Although Ash doesn't approve of this intense training session, Brock is impressed. Ash begs for a rematch, but AJ refuses. The two argue a bit, and when they fall into the pool, Ash's Sandshrew goes missing. Are AJ's training methods too tough? Will Ash get his rematch? And what happened to AJ's Sandshrew? Yeah, so this episode here, honestly, this episode did pretty much prove with AJ having like a 98 wins, and then having his Sandshrew actually take down Ash's Pidgeotto, and not being weak to water type attacks in the swimming pool when they were doing that training stuff. There was a little bit of arguing, honestly, and it did get a little bit repetitive, after a little bit, actually. Especially Ash trying to prove the AJ you're pretty much cheating and all that. Sandshrew isn't ground type Pokemon are supposed to be weak to flying type Pokemon, and especially weak against water type Pokemon as well. Yes, I feel like the argument actually did get a bit repetitive actually. So I feel like I'm gonna put this at a 7 out of 10, honestly. I don't know, honestly. I don't know why there was a bunch of arguing, honestly. Yeah, I do get it. Ash was actually trying to prove AJ that he's really not training his Sandshrew the way that he's actually supposed to be training out Sandshrew. But again, just the arguing though, honestly, the arguing really got old after a little bit, and I really don't know why. AJ couldn't actually prove to himself he was actually cheating, and he wasn't really training up his Sandshrew and his Pokemon the way that they were supposed to be trained up and whatnot. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Honestly, that argument, honestly, and just trying to prove AJ that he was pretty much cheating. Yeah, that is definitely a 7 out of 10, honestly. But next time here, we got episode 8, and this one is actually where Ash and the others have discovered a place called the Pokemon Technical Institute, which is pretty much a school for I believe for Pokemon trainers actually. I'm not really sure exactly, but we're gonna go ahead and read the description for this episode here and see what we can rank this episode. While searching for firewood in the foggy woods, Ash and Pikachu discover a bunch of prep school kids bullying a classmate named Joe. They're all students at Pokémon Technical Institute, which offers classes that allow trainers to enter the Pokémon League without getting badges. But Joe says the route treatment is necessary, so he'll be strong enough to graduate. Still, Ash doesn't like the idea and demands to meet the person responsible for this tutoring program. We soon meet the leader, a casino girl named Gazelle. Brock and Ash are cemented by her looks, but Misty wants to battle. To Misty's surprise, Gazelle's Rock-type Graveler defeats her Water-type Stormy, proving that matching up types is the one several factors that determine victory. As Gazelle gloats, Ash challenges her, and Pikachu faces her Cubone, but Cubone is unaffected by electric types. How can Pikachu win? And what's the real deal with the school? And why does the school seem so familiar to Jesse and James? But yeah, so once again, this is the episode where, you know, they get introduced to this place called the Pokemon Technical Institute, which very much, once again, is a boarding school which educates Pokemon trainers. And I do remember there was one part of this episode where, Ash and them actually do discover that, like, there's like other school kids that are bullying this kid named Joe. And I do remember actually when they were actually trying to get information about the Pokemon School Institute. There was one part where, Pikachu was on the treadmill and, randomly Pikachu was like running on that treadmill, and there was like and while Pikachu was like, running on the treadmill, Brock then immediately just like out of absolutely nowhere, without him even noticing, Pikachu, like, he pushes a button and Pikachu just like tries to run rapidly actually, and then like apparently like falls on the treadmill, and it literally kicks his foot, and it literally like almost like he's trying to blame the treadmill for like trying to go too fast, and then like tries to like blame the treadmill for like going too fast without even noticing Brock wasn't the one that like pushed the button to make the treadmill go faster, and the fact like the fact with like Ash and Brock like blushing with that girl Gazelle. Of course, we're gonna see that with a lot with Brock, honestly, with these girls actually like blushing with them and whatnot. I wouldn't say very much with that. That was pretty funny right there, but what was the point with like Misty like trying to fight Gazelle? Honestly, Misty was trying to fight Gazelle, and then Ash actually goes in and tries to fight Gazelle again, but this time with their Cubone. That was pretty much one part where I felt like I kind of got confused on a little bit. Like, why did Misty like try to battle Gazelle, but then, Ash wanted to try to offer immediately afterwards and try to actually fight Gazelle. But I would say this one episode might be an 8 out of 10 for this one. Just because I do really like how they like were trying to get information about the Pokemon Technical Institute, but just in the one part toward the end with Misty battling Gazelle, but then Misty failing, and then Ash trying to go in and try to battle her once again. But yeah, it's still an 8 out of 10 episode that I'll put an 8 out of 10, honestly. Again, I've been getting part with Pikachu on that treadmill, honestly. That was still, to say, a pretty funny part of this episode. And next up here, we got episode number 10 here. And this is the introduction to Bulbasaur, actually. And this is what the episode reads for this one here. Ash and Misty, while arguing, discover an Oddish. As Misty Stormy weakens the Oddish, while Bulbasaur appears and fights Stormy, with the Oddish runs into the woods. Ash jumps in with his Butterfree, but the Bulbasaur is able to escape in the direction of the Oddish. Our heroes cross the river over a rope bridge that snaps, sending Brock into the river below. As Ash, Misty, and Pikachu hunt for Brock, they set off a couple of traps, finally landing in a net that hangs from a tree. Fortunately, Brock shows up to cut them down, but then brings to meet a woman named Melanie, who takes care of wounded Pokemon like Oddish, and sets a trap to defend Pokemon from poachers. The Bulbasaur we learn act as kind of a bodyguard. Misty apologizes to the Oddish for attacking her earlier, but the Bulbasaur is still hostile, but it dislikes trainers. Meanwhile, Team Rocket has discovered the area and plans to snatch the weak Pokemon. One Team Rocket had the advantage against Pokemon that are wounded and unable to defend themselves, and will that Bulbasaur even warm up to Ash and his friends? So, this is the first ever time we actually get introduced once again to Bulbasaur. And, you know what? We actually get to learn that, Bulbasaur is kind of like was sort of like a bodyguard during this episode here. Well, I do kind of question, how did Brock actually meet up with Melody, actually, after, he fell in that, that river that actually, like, washed him up, actually. Yeah, honestly, though, seriously wish we could have saw, like, how, Brock actually met up with Melody after he, like, washed up in that river. And, but I do gotta say, though, another good episode, another really enjoyable episode here, getting introduced to, like, Bulbasaur as well. And I should find a little bit more about Bulbasaur as well. So, this one had to be another 9 out of 10, honestly. My one, once again, drawback to this episode is, once again, with, how did Brock, meet up with Melanie after he, like, got washed up in that river. That was something that I felt like we could have got a little bit more information about, but, again, like he's saying, still another really enjoyable episode with this, honestly. And, Ash actually, like, getting to know Bulbasaur a little bit, and, Ash going to join his team, actually. And, that's such another good thing about this, actually, because, at the very first episode, when, Ash was, like, trying to select this, like, historical Pokemon, like, he really didn't get Bulbasaur before, but it's actually really good to see here that, Ash actually got the, have a Bulbasaur for the first time ever, even though he didn't really get one before during, like, the very first episode. But good to see that he actually finally ended up getting a Bulbasaur here, actually, as well. And the next time we have episode 11, which is pretty much another episode where we actually got to see another starter Pokemon with Charmander. Our friends Lost discover an injured Charmander. Pikachu talks to it and learns that it's been waiting for a long time for its trainer to return. Later at a Pokemon Center, we overhear a trainer bragging about abandoning his Charmander. Brock and Ash confront their trainer, named Damien, who challenges them to a battle. Nurse Joy breaks things up and reminds everyone that Pokemon are not used to settle personal disputes. Ash, Misty, and Brock rush to retrieve the Charmander. It's only threatened by a driving rain that could extinguish its flame. It's also under attack by a flock of Pidgeotto. Fortunately, Pikachu was able to make the Pidgeotto scatter. The Charmander could be saved. They return to the Pokemon Center when Nurse Joy says the Charmander requires an overnight stay. When our friends wake up the next morning, however, Charmander is gone. Is the Charmander still loyal to the neglectful Damien? Will Damien ever learn that a trainer must be responsible for his Pokemon? And will Team Rocket's latest trap finally succeed? And so this episode is to kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown on how this episode actually ended up happening. So this episode had Charmander, and not only getting introduced here, but, man, poor Charmander, honestly. Like, getting abandoned by his trainer Damien. And, yeah, I really felt bad with Charmander in this episode, honestly. Especially with, once again, Damien, abandoning him and then, like, getting attacked by all those, like, flocks of Pidgeotto and, all the other stuff that happened as well. Once again, like I said, don't abandon your Pokemon, honestly. Like, I felt bad, really, really bad for Charmander, honestly. But at least, once again, Ash, Brock, and Misty, and Nurse Joy were, like, trying to help out Charmander, actually, like, try to heal him up and, like, trying to make him feel better. So, the fight with Damien, trying, abandoning this Charmander, I don't know what to put this one, honestly. Like, this was a pretty cruel episode, honestly, with Damien, like he's saying, Damien, what is it called? Abandoning his Charmander. So maybe put this on a 7 out of 10, possibly. Once again, like he's saying, really felt bad for Charmander, but at the same time, why did Damien do that, honestly? And why did it take so long for Charmander to actually have, like, our trainer to go along with them, actually. So once again, 7 out of 10 for this episode here. Again, still feel really bad for Charmander, to be honest. But next up here, oh my gosh, I remember this episode, and I absolutely love this one, honestly. So this next episode is Here Comes the Squirrel Squad, and this one is the introduction to Squirtle, actually. My gosh, I think I already know what I'm going to put this episode, actually. Ash and his friends walk along a path and fall into a hole dug by a bunch of mischievous Squirtle. Ash finds out and tries to battle them, but they scatter when Officer Jenny arrives. Team Rocket tries to enjoy a picnic, but the Squirrel Squad, as Officer Jenny calls them, shows up, traps them, then ties them to a tree, and eats their food. Meowth makes a deal with Squirrel to secure its release. With the Meowth in charge, the Squirrel are able to catch Ash, Misty, and Brock, and a wounded Pikachu. They tie up the humans into a cave while Pikachu is health fading. Lies in a cage. Ash convinces the Squirrel to let them go to a town to get a super potion for Pikachu. While Meowth awaits Jessie and James to arrive so they can complete their plan. While Ash retrieves Pikachu's medicine in time, and what is a sinister Team Rocket plot, and what's the real story behind the Squirrel Squad? So yeah, I don't really need to go too much into this, honestly. This one's obviously going to 10 out of 10, honestly. Only because of the fact I can remember that beginning part of the episode, actually, with what the Squirrel Squad did before. And I know that seriously love when Pikachu actually, electrocuted one of the members of the Squirrel Squad. Honestly, and it's just like, this is the way they were just trying to interact with one another, like, one member of the Squirrel Squad with all the other ones, and it's running off with the injured Squirrel, actually. Bro, I love this episode, honestly. This was one of the most hilarious episodes of Season 1, honestly. And, honestly, I really do not have to go that much into it, honestly. I already knew I was going to put this episode in the first place, honestly. Definitely a 10 out of 10 for this episode here. Now, next up here, this next episode is called Mystery at the Lighthouse. And in this episode, the party emerges from the forest onto a beach, where in the distance they see a lighthouse shining at the top of a cliff. The lighthouse belongs to Bill, a Pokemon researcher who is awaiting the coming of a one-of-a-kind Pokemon. Never before seen by humans, before long, a tremendously large shadow begins to take form in the sea mists. But this possible discovery could be hindered due to an infamous Team Rocket lurking in the background, cooking up another one of their schemes. Could such a legendary Pokemon truly exist? So yeah, in this episode here, they were, in this episode right here, they were pretty much here, they were trying to this Pokemon researcher Bill was trying to away one of a kind Pokemon that they've never seen before in history, and never been seen before by humans actually. But I don't know, honestly here, I don't think they really saw who it actually was actually, until way later on actually, because what I'm seeing here actually what's the Pokemon, the legendary Pokemon they were trying to discover here was a Dragonite. But I don't even know why it took them so long to actually reveal that the legendary Pokemon was actually going to be Dragonite. And apparently what I'm seeing here, Ash randomly just catches a Krabby as well. And yeah, I feel I don't know what to put this episode, honestly, because it did. I'm not really sure how to describe this actually. I feel like it really did bring up a little bit of hype around, bring a lot of mystery, who is actually this mysterious Pokemon that, Bill was trying to discover. I don't know. This is another hard one, honestly. Where can we rank this episode here? You know what? Maybe not an 8 out of 10 here, honestly. Again with that, bringing up the hype around Bill and the others trying to discover and trying to figure out who was the Pokemon that we're trying to discover that humans never discovered before. That's gonna bring that hype and suspension about it, honestly. Really did bring a little bit of variety for this episode, honestly. So yeah, 8 out of 10 as well. I'll put this episode here, Mystery at the Lighthouse. And the next up here, another episode that, if you guys watched my previous video to where we reacted to the game theory about who does Ash marry, and about, there was one part in there where they mentioned about this one stone where Ash pretty much found to where it could evolve Pikachu and the Raichu. I think this was actually the episode where they actually did mention that. This is the episode where we first of all get introduced to Raichu, and this was the episode where Pikachu didn't want to evolve with the Raichu with that one stone that they got. But this is the episode where it reads here. our heroes finally reach Vermilion City, and they discover that the Pokemon Center is filled with Pokemon hurt during battles with LT Surge, the Vermilion City gym leader. Ash and Pikachu head to the Vermilion City gym, where LT Surge is proud of his Raichu. LT Surge's attitude is to evolve Pokemon as soon as possible. The two Electric-type Pokemon battle, and Raichu, being the evolved forward Pikachu, delivers such stronger attacks that sent Pikachu to the hospital. Even Team Rocket, spotted on the scene from outside, is disappointed. Noshoi offers Ash a Thunderstone, which is required for a Pikachu to evolve. As a Raichu, Pikachu would have a better chance of defeating LT Surge's Raichu, but if it evolves, it can never go back to being a Pikachu. Will Pikachu decide? Or are there advantages to evolving Pokemon as soon as possible? And why is Team Rocket rooting for Pikachu? Yeah, so, another pretty great episode. Another pretty interesting episode, actually. But to be honest, so why we didn't even need a Raichu to actually, defeat a Raichu as well? Just because of the fact, if you think about it, Raichu is an Electric-type Pokemon, but why would you have another Raichu, you really don't necessarily have to have a Raichu to be, be able to take down another Raichu. Just because of the fact that Raichu is actually a lot stronger than, any other type, any type of Electric-type Pokemon. And, with Team Rocket also, rooting for Pikachu as well. That was also another kind of interesting thing that happened here as well. Team Rocket actually, unexpectedly, trying to be on Pikachu's side, actually. Even though, all this time, they were, trying to, capture Pikachu and all that. But, I don't know, honestly. I feel like I would put this 8 out of 10, but, oh gosh, I don't even know where to put this. This is another hard one. Probably put this on another 7 out of 10, honestly. Just because of the fact, make up your mind, honestly. Do you want to evolve Pikachu in the Raichu, or, like I said, you really don't necessarily need a Raichu to defeat another Raichu, just because of how strong it is, actually. And I want to really force Pikachu into actually becoming evolving into a Raichu, honestly. Even in that episode, Pikachu really didn't want to evolve into Raichu as well. So, yeah, pretty much at this point, I'll probably have to put this another 7 out of 10 as well. Just because of the fact, once again, really don't know what the point of, trying to evolve Pikachu into Raichu was, honestly. Pikachu could have been fine the way he was, honestly. With still being Pikachu, his regular Pikachu form instead of forming the Raichu, honestly. Once again, what was the point of that, honestly? I seriously don't get it, honestly. But, so next up here, we got episode 15, and this one is Battle Aboard the St. Anne. Ash and his friends board a fancy cruise ship called the St. Anne. Thanks to tickets provided by two friendly but familiar-looking people, we soon learn that they're actually Jesse and James in disguise, and the latest plan is to lure Pokemon trainers onto the ship and steal their Pokemon. While on board, Ash observes Eradicate defeating a Starmie. Ash challenges Eradicate with his Butterfree. Then Eradicate's owner removes his Pokemon before the battle ends. He's impressed with Ash's Butterfree and offers a trade. Ash trades his Butterfree for the Eradicate, but soon regrets his decision. Meanwhile, James is tricked into buying a Magikarp. While all the trainers are gathered in a room, the ship's employees reveal themselves to be members of Team Rocket, and they suck out Pokeballs with vacuum-like devices. The trainers fight back. Their Pokemon team up to multiply their attacks and drive back the bad guys. During all the commotion, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. A storm brews outside. Eventually, the ship rocks violently, and it consists of being abandoned ship. Only Jesse, James, and Meowth and Ash and his friends are unable to flee, as they are knocked out. As they're knocked unconscious by the jerky movements of the ship. Then the ship flips over and sinks. What will become our heroes, and will they have joined forces with Team Rocket to escape? And how successful could such a partnership be? Yeah, another big plot twist right here with once again all the employees of the ship actually being members of Team Rocket. But I'm not really sure if they actually were. If this wasn't once again another one of Jesse, James, and Meowth's schemes, actually. But I would say the funniest point about this episode was once again where James actually got I tripped by buying the magic card actually, and it was pretty good to see that this led to a decision to where the boat actually sank, and Ash, Misty, and Brock had to sort of team up with Team Rocket to actually escape this shipwreck actually. But I must say another 9 out of 10 episode here because of the fact, like, again, that plot twist, like, towards the very beginning, or not really toward the very beginning, but just, like, making us think, like, the employees on the ship were just, regular employees that were just working there, but how are they even members of Team Rocket in the first place, actually, and were they actually, like, was this actually, like, Jesse, James, and Meowth's scheme, actually, all this time? That's once again another part where I feel like, they could have went a little bit more about there, but I felt, but just again, that little unexpected moment there just made it feel like, this actually was another pretty enjoyable episode here with that bit of a plot twist there actually as well. But anyways, I think next up here I think we'll go over one more episode here, and I think I might have to split some of the into 7 parts actually, because there was a lot of episodes of Pokemon Season 1, honestly, and probably won't be able to cover them all in one video actually. So yeah, next up here we got Pokemon Shipwreck actually with the next episode, and kind of once again going off once again just like before what happened during the previous episode. So this reads: our heroes are revealed in the middle of a trap consumed by Team Rocket. Luckily, the Pokemon trainers are able to pull their Pokemon resources and successfully battle Team Rocket and their evil crew. In the midst of their confusion on board, however, a tumultuous storm wreaks havoc on the cruise, forcing everyone except Ash, Misty, and Brock, and Pikachu, as well as Team Rocket, to evacuate the sinking ship. Luckily, Ash was able to exchange Butterfree for Raticate before the ship went down. But now our heroes are forced to team up with their long-standing enemies in order to survive their life or death, situation here. So yeah, this is an episode where this actually does lead to the decision about Ash, Misty, and Brock actually teaming up with Team Rocket actually, and trying to escape the cruise ship and whatnot. Because just like before in the previous episode, this is where they had to like I'm trying to escape that, like, Ash, Misty, and Brock were the only ones still, and also Team Rocket were still on the abandoned ship actually, and this is pretty cool actually. Like, the heroes like trying to team up with their enemies actually. So this one also had to go like another 9 out of 10 actually. Just because once again the fact that Ash, Misty, and Brock were like forced to like trying to team up with Team Rocket actually to escape the abandoned ship actually, and yeah, not a pretty good episode honestly, especially with all the stuff that actually happened here. And I just want to one more thing I do want to point out here, for one I'm actually noticing here. Apparently, it does look like James's Magikarp actually did evolve into Gyarados actually, and actually on its own learned Dragon Rage actually, which I also did not even know that actually also happened as well during this episode here. Alright, but I think we're going to go ahead and stop right here, and we're probably going to continue with ranking more of these Season 1 episodes in another video, actually. Once again, we went on for a little bit longer than expected with all these episodes here. But anyways, I think with that, that's going to go and do it for part 1 of our ranking every episode of Pokemon Season 1, aka Pokemon Indigo League. But of course, we'll have another video on this. I'm not sure when exactly, but make sure you guys do stick around for that. And we do upload a part 2 of ranking all the Pokemon Season 1 episodes here. But anyways, so of course, if you guys have any thoughts about all of our rankings for this, of all the episodes that we have here in this this ranking so far here, and of course, let us know in the comment section down below what episodes you will rank, and pretty much your rankings as well. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below as well, and we'll love to hear what you guys have to say about this here. But anyways, so I think with that, that's going to go and do it for part 1 of ranking all the Season 1 episodes of Pokemon here. So once again, if you guys enjoyed this video once again, and want to see a part 2 of this in the near future, of course, like I said, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up, which I really highly recommend that, honestly, if of course you guys want to see a part 2 of this. And of course, if you guys are brand new to our YouTube channel, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel and have the notifications on as well. So of course, now I'm going to send a part 2 of our break out the Pokemon Season 1 episodes, and also keep up to date on more content related to the Pokemon TV series, of course, next time in the near future as well. So anyway, so with that, that's going to do it for me here, from your boy Logan, and I'm going to be signing up with this video, and I will see you guys in our next video. So peace out, love you guys, God bless, and have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Peace out, everybody, and God bless.